At our last monthly meeting, we presented information to you about learning objectives and how they can be viewed in the classroom. In visiting your classrooms, we saw evidence of your thoughtful development of learning objectives. Today, we're going to take learning objectives to the next step and blend them with a couple of other components that we'd like to introduce to you. So, here we go. John Hattie is an educational researcher, and one of his great quotes is, "Simply tell students what they will be learning before the lesson begins, and you can raise student achievement by as much as 27%. I think any of us would love to have student achievement raised by 27%. But what if you want to do more than tell your students? We want to make sure that we clarify each component of our learning objective to the students. We need to tell them the behavior, the conditions, and the outcome we expect. So what can we do when we want to do a little bit more than tell the students the objective? We can give students a copy of the objectives to refer to as the lesson progresses. We can come back to the objective as we teach, return to it, explain it, ask where they think we are. At the end of the lesson, review the objective again. Ask the student to assess their learning so far using the actual objective. This provides a visual for students on their way to achieving the ultimate goal. So let's take a clear example. Consider the following. Suppose at the beginning of class, before you discussed the learning objective, you projected this image for your students. Now suppose that these were the directions you gave to your students. Stop and think, don't talk, just look at the image and ask yourself, what do I see? What words do I recognize? What do you imagine this word cloud is about? Once you're done with that, you can ask them to turn to your neighbor. Tell him or her what you see and what you think. After 1 to 2 minutes, okay, now let's get some of your thoughts up on the board. So, a question for you teachers here today. Ultimately, what will we come up with? So let's reflect. Lesson objective. I can use an image or another memorable prompt to cause students to think covertly and ultimately to develop the lesson objective. Also, students will remember this prompt for a very long time. As we continue in the content area, if I ask students to remember this visual or quickly display this visual, students will be able to retrieve what they have learned. As an aside, I can also use this visual or one like it on any assessment. So, today has been an introduction or review to what is meant by an anticipatory set, learning objectives, and covert thinking by students.